Hi, in this video I want to talk about something that loose women were talking about, and it was called the older child syndrome. And I feel I have this installed in me ever since I was younger. And basically I am an older sister who I baby sister, and I don't fit into the classical way of stereotyping how people think of an old child, if that makes any sense. Because I'd like to think I am sensible now after loads of years of perhaps being a bit naughty and this, that and the other, because I think as when you are younger you've got to have a bit of fun, or what's the point of being a kid? Or my sister has been more mature, more sensible, and therefore she thinks, because this is how my sister talks, that she sees herself as the stronger person, and this, I feel, all boils down to the enneagram and your personality type that you were born with. And it's hard, particularly hard for me, because of being born a type 3 and cast as the older child, because I have behavioural traits that are nothing like my sister and a couple of other people. Like, take into consideration, for example, Frozen, and you see the older sister hold distant. That wasn't me. In fact, I behaved more like a younger sister, and which is quite interesting in my dynamic with my younger sister, because my sister is quite challenging, shall we say, and she is, or how can I put this? Well, she likes to protect me. She likes to look out for me, and these are all the things that I, as an older child, think of my younger sister, that I'm there to protect her. The older sister doesn't need protecting. I'm the older sister, end of, and I protect you, and I make my own mistakes. And but this is where my family dynamic comes into play, because my sister is exactly like a type 8 personality, and she's a lovely person, don't get me wrong, she's got a heart of gold, but she has a temper, and it's at times I'm talking to her like I don't particularly want to upset her, like I'm treading on eggshells, Or I think really what I'm trying to say is because my sister has more of a domineering personality, a more challenging personality, my sister would fit the criteria of an older sister. So like normally in films and books and all the sorts of things you see on the TV, it's not always true. It's not always true because it's normally a type 8 or type 1 who's usually really responsible, really practical, who helps, help or has always been mom's little helper, and that's how they've actually been raised and with their personalities. Or it's unheard of a type 3, which if we go back to Frozen, it's unheard of the younger sister acting as an older sister, if you get my drift. Because I remember watching that and I was just literally in tears. I mean, of course, the first bit and the little bit I enjoyed, but and this is what it all comes down to, I would risk my life or my younger sister. It's always been that way. That's never going to change. And I think at times, especially when I've been younger, it's bugged me. It's really bugged me because my sister, who has that domineering personality, feels the need to protect me. So here is me, the older sister, and she's the younger sister, but she doesn't match the criteria for a younger sister, if you know what I mean. Like personality traits, and for me it's been particularly difficult, and me and my sister have got into fights. We have got into debates. Usually at first, a long time ago, with me winning. Now it's a lot different. I know that she has a temper, but at the same time can be the sweetest person. So, and she's so protective of me, and these days it is nice. And so these days what I feel me and my sister do is we compensate when let's say, for example, because I'm not highly organized, okay, this is one of the areas that I struggle in. I can organize things, but I just need a little bit of help because let's just face it, I can't always keep on top of things all the time. As much as I'd like to admit, I'm always on top of things, and this is how it swings and roundabouts. It's it's, I think, I think it's really unfair, and it's not a true picture when people or books or film acres, putting Hodge a type 8 or a type 1. It's their personality. But I, in fact, am an older sister. I don't match all the criteria that an older sister is supposed to act like, supposed to behave like. Because I suppose when I was younger, I think I was more naughtier than my sister, and I have felt that our parents have come down more harder on me compared to my sister, because as Loose Women were explaining that you put all the groundwork down for the older kid because they have to do this, they have to do that, they have to match your parents' criteria, if that makes any sense, because they want you to be the perfect person. Now, this has been touched upon in Loose Women, and I think as most of them are parents, they always talk about saying they want the best for their kids, and so usually the elder one has all the behavioural traits that they want to have installed in you. When it comes to the second child, then the rules get a bit lax, like we've gone through this with the older child, this is the next child, so it's a bit easier. So at times I've felt, coming from a child's perspective here, that our parents were harder on me than my sister, and I have felt like at times there's one rule for me and another rule for my sister, and it's always been that particular way. It's if my sister is angry and upset and shouting the odds, you leave her to calm down, basically. But with me, if you don't listen to me, if you walk away from me when I'm trying to express myself, it might escalate into something else. But the main message that I'm trying to get across is here that I am the oldest sister. My parents were a lot harder on me than my sister, and even though I'm an older sister, I'm a different personality compared to my younger sister, who is a type 8, a Challenger. So at times me and her have actually been on loggerheads, because who's the hot dog, who's the dominant one, who can knock 7 shades of grey into the next sister. It's, well, I think most people go through that, but at the end of the day, my sister is and always will be my best friend. I know I can go to her if I need her, and this is where our personalities come into play. So the older sister or the younger sister has, it's all to do with your personalities, of which kid comes first? Is it the younger sister or the older one? But they both have different personalities.